Hello, I'm NotExplosive, and this is our update video for 3 in a Rogue version 2.1. This one's pretty big. This patch brings a handful of changes to the roguelike system, as well as lots of changes for the Match 3 system, and a few broader changes to the game as a whole. Let's first talk about the changes to the roguelike portion of the game. First off, enemies don't deal damage more than once in a turn, even if they have moves left over, so at most an enemy can only deal damage once per turn. Speaking of damage, there are now explosive barrels that deal damage around them upon destruction. There are also new tiles available in the map editor that add some visual variation to the levels. Sprite layering is now much more consistent. It's still not perfect, but it's better than it was. Enemy turn order is now much more predictable. More on that later. The general pacing of combat is much snappier. Actions happen one right after the next. Let's talk about the Match 3 changes. The major visible change is that a match of 4 or 5 now has a functionally different behavior. If it's a move or turn gem, matching 4 will put 2 actions in the queue. If it's an attack gem, it will increase the power of that action. Matching 5 will do this effect twice. This means that if you match 4 turn right or turn left gems, you'll turn around. And if you match 4 ranged attack gems, you'll deal 2 damage instead of 1. And then if you match 5 range attack gems, you'll deal 3 damage. I've added some experimental changes to gem probability, which has allowed me to bring the magic gem back as a rare gem. This still creates a case where new gems can spawn in and result in an errant match, and I'm not sure what to do about that yet. I'm still thinking about it. The order in which matches are evaluated is also a little bit more predictable, which leads me into the broader changes. I've mentioned that both turn order and match evaluation order is more predictable. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that everything is evaluated from the top left to the bottom right. It goes left to right, top to bottom. You can think of it as everything is evaluated in the same order that we read English text. Now, I realize if we ever localize this game, this concept might not localize very well, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. This might be a little hard to wrap your head around, but the important thing is that there is a rule now. Because before it was kind of arbitrary. Then there's some little things. I've added some additional sound effects. Normally this would be Ryan's domain, since he's responsible for the music and sound design of this game, but he's a busy guy with other projects, so I'll be taking over the sound design tasks. He might swoop in with another music track or two later, but we'll see. There is now a pause menu when you hit escape. There are now tooltips when you hover over things. This gives you some extra info that can serve as a very basic tutorial. I wanted to add these in the very first version of the game, but I never got around to it until now. Lastly, and most excitingly, settings are now preserved across play sessions, so if you set your music and full screen settings how you like them, and then you close the game and open it later, your settings will be preserved. Next patch, I'm hoping to do some more work with gem rarity and that errant match problem, and I also want to add persistent rooms so they don't generate the moment you walk through a door. I'll also try to get the boss fight ready for next patch, but we'll see how that goes. Like before, I'd love to hear your feedback. Is the game fun? Did something not work how you expected? Did you find a bug? If so, leave a comment on the itch page, or send me a tweet. If you want updates on future patches, follow me on Twitter and Itch.io. 3 in a Rogue is made by myself, Ryan Yoshikami, and Jessica Turner. Thank you, and enjoy.